We're looking at the 10 most unreal extinct creatures you have to see. Let's get straight into it. 1. Quagga. Imagine seeing a zebra that looks like evolution stopped halfway through painting it. The quagga was a real animal that lived in South Africa, and at first glance it almost looks fake. Its head and front body were covered in bold zebra stripes, but toward the back, those stripes faded away into plain brown fur like a horse. For years people argued whether it was even a separate species, or just a strange zebra variation. Tragically, humans hunted the quagga heavily during the 1800s for meat and hides, and the last known individual died in captivity in 1883. What makes the quagga especially haunting is how recent its extinction was. Photographs of living quaggas still exist. Today, scientists are attempting selective breeding projects to recreate animals that resemble it, making the quagga one of the few extinct creatures humanity may partially bring back. 2. Giant short-faced bear? During the Ice Age, North America was home to a predator that makes modern grizzly bears look small. The giant short-faced bear was built for speed and dominance. Standing on all fours, it could already look a human in the eye, but when it rose upright, it may have reached over 12 feet tall. Unlike modern bears that rely on brute strength alone, this animal had long legs designed for covering huge distances quickly, possibly chasing prey across open plains. Some scientists believe it was one of the most powerful land carnivores of its time, capable of intimidating wolves, lions, and even early humans away from kills. Its massive size meant it needed enormous amounts of food, and as the Ice Age ended and ecosystems changed, survival became harder. Around 11,000 years ago, the giant short-faced bear vanished, leaving behind fossils that hint at one of the most intimidating mammals ever to walk North America. 3. Giant ground sloth. Now imagine a sloth the size of an elephant slowly walking across ancient grasslands. The giant ground sloth looked nothing like the small tree-hanging animals we know today. Some species stood over 20 feet tall when upright and weighed several tons. Instead of climbing trees, they pulled them down. Using enormous curved claws, these massive herbivores could stand on their hind legs and rip branches apart like living bulldozers. Despite their size, they were likely calm plant eaters roaming across the Americas for millions of years. Fossilized footprints show they sometimes defended themselves by swinging their claws at predators. Early humans almost certainly encountered these giants, and cave art may even depict them. As climates shifted and human hunting spread, the giant ground sloths disappeared around 10,000 years ago. It's hard to imagine today's forests once shared space with creatures that look like prehistoric monsters moving in slow motion. 4. Woolly mammoth? The woolly mammoth is one of the most famous Ice Age animals, yet its existence still feels unbelievable. Covered in thick shaggy fur, and protected by layers of fat, these enormous relatives of modern elephants roamed frozen tundras across Europe, Asia, and North America. Their long curved tusks could grow over 15 feet and were used for fighting, digging through snow, and defending against predators. Mammoths lived in herds, cared for their young, and followed migration routes much like elephants today. Humans hunted them for food, tools, shelter, and clothing, forming a deep connection between our species and theirs. Surprisingly, mammoths didn't disappear all at once. Small populations survived on isolated Arctic islands, until only about 4,000 years ago, meaning they were still alive when ancient pyramids were already standing. Frozen carcasses found in Siberian permafrost sometimes still contain hair and soft tissue, making mammoths feel astonishingly close to returning. 5. Moa. In ancient New Zealand, there once lived birds so large they completely reshaped the ecosystem around them. The moa was a flightless giant that could grow over 12 feet tall, taller than many humans standing on horseback. Unlike ostriches or emus, moa had no wings at all, not even tiny remnants. They evolved without mammalian predators, becoming peaceful plant eaters that browsed forests and grasslands freely. For thousands of years, they dominated their environment until humans arrived roughly 700 years ago. With no fear of people and no natural defenses, moa were hunted rapidly for food. Within just a few generations, every species of moa disappeared forever. Their extinction also doomed their main predator, the massive Haast's eagle. Today, only skeletons and preserved feathers remain, reminding us how quickly an entire lineage of giant animals can vanish once humans enter an isolated ecosystem. 6. Megalodon. Picture a shark so large that modern great whites would look small beside it. Megalodon ruled the oceans millions of years ago and may have reached lengths of 60 feet or more. Its jaws were wide enough to swallow a human whole, lined with serrated teeth the size of a human hand. Fossil evidence suggests this enormous predator hunted whales, biting with a force stronger than almost any animal ever known. Warm prehistoric seas allowed Megalodon to thrive across nearly every ocean on Earth. Young individuals likely grew up in protected coastal nurseries before moving into open water as apex predators. Despite its dominance, environmental changes eventually reshaped marine ecosystems. Cooling oceans and declining prey populations likely led to its extinction around 3.6 million years ago. Yet because sharks rarely fossilize completely, Megalodon remains mysterious, fueling endless speculation about whether something that powerful could truly be gone. 7. Thylacine. The thylacine, also known as the Tasmanian tiger, looked like a strange mix between a wolf, a fox, and a tiger. Native to Tasmania and parts of Australia, this carnivorous marsupial had stiff jaws, a long tail, and dark stripes across its back. Unlike most predators people imagine as ancient, the thylacine lived alongside modern humans and was photographed, filmed, and even displayed in zoos. European settlers blamed it for killing livestock and placed bounties on the animal, leading to relentless hunting. Habitat loss and disease worsened the decline. The last known thylacine died in captivity in 1936, pacing inside a zoo enclosure captured forever on grainy film footage. What makes its story haunting is how recent it feels, close enough that some people still claim sightings today. Whether mistaken identity or lingering hope, the thylacine remains one of the most tragic examples of an animal disappearing within living memory. 8. Smilodon. Often called the saber-toothed tiger, Smilodon wasn't actually a tiger at all. It was a powerful prehistoric cat built like a muscular tank rather than a fast runner. Its most striking feature was a pair of curved canine teeth that could grow nearly a foot long. Instead of chasing prey over long distances, Smilodon likely relied on ambush tactics, using strong forelimbs to wrestle large animals to the ground before delivering precise fatal bites. Fossils found in tar pits show many individuals living and dying together, suggesting possible social behavior similar to modern lions. Smilodon hunted giant herbivores such as bison and young mammoths during the Ice Age period. As climates changed and many large prey species disappeared, this specialized predator struggled to adapt. Around 10,000 years ago, Smilodon vanished, leaving behind one of the most iconic and instantly recognizable predators in prehistoric history. 9. Dodo. Few animals symbolize extinction more than the dodo. Living only on the isolated island of Mauritius, this flightless bird evolved without natural predators and had little fear of humans. About the size of a large turkey, the dodo walked calmly through forests searching for fruit and seeds. When sailors arrived in the late 1500s, the bird's trusting nature became its downfall. Humans hunted dodos for food while introduced animals such as rats, pigs, and dogs destroyed nests and eggs. Within less than a century of human contact, the species disappeared completely. Ironically, the dodo was once mocked as clumsy or unintelligent, yet modern research suggests it was well adapted to its environment. Today, the dodo stands as a powerful reminder of how fragile isolated ecosystems can be, and how quickly human activity can erase a species that survived successfully for thousands of years. 10. Quetzalcoatlus. For the final reveal, imagine looking up and seeing a flying animal as tall as a giraffe standing on the ground. Quetzalcoatlus was one of the largest flying creatures ever to exist. With an estimated wingspan exceeding 30 feet, it rivaled the size of a small aircraft. Unlike birds, it was a pterosaur, a reptile that dominated prehistoric skies long before modern birds evolved. Scientists believe it launched into flight using powerful forelimbs, almost vaulting itself into the air like a living catapult. Once airborne, it could glide enormous distances with minimal effort. On land, Quetzalcoatlus likely walked on all fours, stalking small animals across ancient plains. Its sheer scale challenges our imagination because nothing alive today truly compares. Around 66 million years ago, the same extinction event that wiped out the dinosaurs ended its reign as well, closing the chapter on one of the most astonishing flyers Earth has ever produced.